Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk, and today on the docket, Shannan Watts' family lawyers speak out. Second on the docket, the Lifetime trailer of the Chris Watts story. Yep, that's what the lawyers are speaking out about. And third, our dumb criminal contestant of the week. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk. Thank you for tuning in. If you have not already done so, hey, please subscribe. Hit that little bell if you want to receive notifications of when we go live or when we put up new content, and always leave a comment. And I think today there's going to be lots of comments, all right? First on the docket, the attorneys for Shannan Watts, the Rusic's family, speaks out. They had a press conference 2 days ago up in Greeley, Colorado. And what are they speaking out about? Well, there is a Lifetime movie about the Chris Watts story that is coming out on January 25th. And the family for Shannan is upset because they were not consulted by Lifetime. Apparently, they have been consulted by other people about other matters or movies that are going to be made, but they weren't consulted about this. And if they're not consulted, then it is a re-victimization of their family. Now, let's get something straight. I have the utmost sympathy for anyone, not only Shannan Watts' family, but for anyone who is a victim of a crime. But we live in a free society, ladies and gentlemen. And if someone wants to take the material and discuss it or create a documentary, they are allowed to do so. It's public information. It's artistic freedom that people have to do. Apparently, the Shannan Watts family is upset that people are making movies and, yes, perhaps even making a profit. I get it. They're upset by it. But this is America, and you can't have it both ways. You can't keep coming out and saying, leave everybody alone, but if you're going to do something that's going to make a profit, come back and talk with us so basically we can get our piece of the pie. I've said this before on the 12 Undeniable Truths video that I have talked about in the past, and that is, and let's put a link to that, Mr. Producer. It's always about the money. And when they say it's not about the money, it's about the money, all right? Now, one of the Rusic's, Frankie, we actually had to ban from our website because of the comments that he was leaving. It's funny how the Rusic's say, don't watch these other movies because apparently this will not show their daughter and their grandchildren in a positive light, and therefore you should go to other sources on the internet, and I'm assuming it's Frankie Rusic's website that he can show videos and I guess monetize and make money from. So I'm not trying to come across as mean and insensitive, and if I am, well, I'm sorry if people take it that way. But this is a story that has fascinated the world, and it is going to be around for decades and decades to come. Just like Charles Manson's story continues to go throughout these days, and think of all the other cases where someone has done something heinous and wrong and terrible and unimaginable. People will still write stories and books about it. It's going to happen. I am appreciative of the loss that they've endured. I could not imagine having to lose a child, let alone grandchildren, all in so quickly. But it is a reality. This is going to be talked about for a long time. The attorneys seem to be, well, I'm not even sure what they're complaining about in the video, in the press conference. And watch portions of this video. I'm not sure what they want. They just don't want people to watch it?
When you involve victims and the people who knew victims best, it makes it a lot easier to make a portrayal of somebody. And so they have been happy and engaged when they're able to take apart and assert some more of that control and power over some of these depictions of their daughter and grandchildren. When something like this comes up and the power is completely taken away from them, it does hurt them and it does make them, to a certain extent, angry.
They ask us to close with, it's time to let the case rest. The Weld County DA's office, they did an amazing job along with law enforcement. The family couldn't be more thankful for the efforts of these individuals. And they just wanted everybody to, it's time to move on. And Mr. Watts was brought to justice, and so they're very pleased with that result. And they're just asking that everybody move on, and they would like to thank everybody for their time today, for coming out.
I think that the movie coming out makes it difficult, and especially, as Stephen pointed out earlier, the commercials for the movie that were running all during the holiday season. We received a text one morning right before Christmas saying, "This is what I woke up to this morning." So it's difficult for them, and that does make it harder to move on.
They don't want people to make money off of a story that they put their capital into investing and would like to see a return. It's an interesting story. And maybe instead of saying don't do something about it, maybe if it helps one person realize that, hey, I'm in a similar situation and maybe this is dangerous and I need to get out and go see the police or help through a domestic violence type situation, that would be something good and positive to come from it. But not talking about it, putting our heads in the sand, hoping it'll all go away, it's not gonna go away. So let's be realistic about it. Now, next on the docket, let's take a look at the Lifetime trailer. Does this look like it's giving Chris Watts some sort of good guy image? I don't think so.
A rip from the headlines feature.
Do you intend to answer truthfully?
Yes.
Do you know where Shannan is now?
No.
Did you ever lose your temper with Shannan? Chris.
Based on the gripping true story.
Oh, come here.
Do you feel safe?
Munchkins, hey.
Out in the light?
I love you.
Or is this the place
Tell us what happened.
where monsters hide?
You want the truth?
Maybe we'd never really know anyone.
Chris Watts, Confessions of a Killer. Premieres Saturday, January 25th at 8
Daddy, no.
Monsters hide.
on Lifetime.
The facts are what they are. You can see the discovery. It's out there in the public. Hell, you can go to scottreisch.com and look at all of the discovery that's been released to date. You tell me if this is accurate or inaccurate. Now, sure, they'll probably take some artistic license with a few things here and there because they're not completely documented. But the reality of it is we know what the facts are based upon the discovery that's been released from the district attorney's office. Okay? The Rusic's family doesn't get veto power over other people taking public information and discussing it. As long as it's factual, as long as it's not complete fiction and complete speculation, it's a story. And to be upset by it, I get it's it's tragic, it's grieving, but guess what? This is America. If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to watch it. There's a bazillion other things out there that people can watch. Next on the docket, our dumb criminal contestant of the day. And before we even get started, we're going to crown him the dumb criminal contestant of the week. Why? Because he is dumb. Yes, and we usually don't announce the winner before we tell you the facts, but I think this guy's going to take the case. Daniel Christopher Booth. He had an arrest warrant out for his arrest, and he is now in custody. And he was suspected of selling methamphetamines. And when he tried to get away, he went into a pond, and he thought he was a fish, apparently. And he went into the pond thinking that he could hold his breath until the police went away. Guess what? He couldn't, and he had to come up for air, and he was arrested. He is not a fish. Mr. Booth, you are the dumb criminal contestant of the day and dumb criminal contestant of the week, and you, sir, can get a mug. In fact, I may reach out to try to find Mr. Booth just because he's so stupid, I'm not sure he could figure out how to find us. And I'd even give him his choice, the red one, the blue one. Which one would you like, Mr. Booth? And I apologize if I seem a little fired up today. It's just been one of those weeks where everybody seems to be complaining about everything, and they just don't appreciate how good of life most people have, okay? Most people don't have real problems. They have inconveniences. Even Mr. Booth, yes, it's a problem that he created himself, but it is an inconvenience for Mr. Booth, let's face it. So appreciate what you have, ladies and gentlemen. There's tragedy in the world, but you need to keep it in perspective. We all have issues. It's what you do with it and how you get through it. Now, yesterday, we took a little field trip. That's why we didn't have a video up. Frankly, we just didn't have enough time. But here's a quick little snippet of what we had to do yesterday. And we may be putting it up on a different channel as well for the full-length version because, let's face it, people that are listeners in Crime Talk are not necessarily that interested in aviation. So we're going to give you a little snippet. And if you want to watch the other channel, you're free to do so. And obviously, if you like it, hit that subscribe button as well. Have a great day. Thanks for watching Crime Talk. We'll see you next week.